Hello, everyone. We're live, and surprise, surprise, it's not Sarah today. It's our beautiful Nick. Hello, Nick. How are you?
Oh, hi, Marie. Hi, everyone. I'm great, actually. Fantastic.
Yeah, you're looking good.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, but our beautiful Sarah has other commitments now, so she can't do this time frame. So thankfully, Nick has stepped in and is going to be the co-host for us. So yeah, so we'll be having Nick each week, and it's very exciting. We've also got Dave on next week too. So guys, if you have something you want to share, or a synchronistic moments, or something fun that's happened because you've put that out there, or a dream, it's so easy. I just send you the StreamYard link and you can come on, and you don't have to have your face on if you want to block it, but it'd be so nice to meet people. And you can just stay on for a few minutes or the whole show. We don't mind. It's however it pans out. So we'll do our little test run with Dave, and I think his is going to be he's going to be there at 11 p.m. his time because he's in the UK. So that's a big commitment. So I'm very impressed. So yes, want to come on, we just love it. It's so nice to meet everybody.
Even if you come on in your pajamas.
Exactly. So
pajama day.
I think we should have a pajama day. Jazzy wants to say hello to everybody. And who have we got? I've got Dennis and Lady Hawk. Hi guys, how you going?
Hi.
How's everyone's weekend been? Or because you're still on the Sunday night there. So yeah, it's just rained here all weekend, which is actually nice to potter around and get things done at home. So I guess the theme of the day is about it's still about putting out there to have fun in life, enjoy in life, because I think sometimes we get into the mindset of solving problems. Oh yeah, I've got to do this, or I've got to do that. And it was really beautiful. My friend Tracy, she's been on here before. She's the Ayurvedic specialist, and she does helps with stress with people in their life. She put out a post and she said, instead of going and doing exercise, she said, why don't you just go for a walk to absolutely enjoy the environment that you're walking around? I went, wow, that's a good way to trick my brain. I'm not exercising. I'm going to go and look at the trees, and I'm going to go and talk to the birds. So I thought that was a really clever little way of looking at life. And so I guess that's what we're trying to do, is to actually help people to start to see the lighter side of life and to be more focused on the fun and the joy rather than solving problems and having to do exercise. I thought that is so cool. So yeah, Kathleen's on. Hello, Kathleen. Thank you for your dream. It was pretty cool. So, yeah, and so Nick, have you got anything that you'd like to share?
I sort of had. I always anticipate whether I'm going to have a week of dreams or not, and I did have dreams midweek and quite sequential. You know, there was a couple in a row, a couple I forgot, and it always amazes me because I know that there's going to, even you just mentioning that about walking, one of the songs that I woke up to, which was at the end of a series of some of my dreams, which I'll talk about later if there's time, was all about connecting back into nature. And I did set the intention about having some more fun in my dreams. So I will like to expand on that, but I can already see the connections that we're having.
Yes, always, isn't it? So, hi Tribal, she's on too. Should we go and have a look at Kathleen's dream? It's pretty funny. I had a giggle when I was reading this, and it's happened to me before as well, Kathleen, where I've been listening to something and then I'm there. So we'll start with Kathleen's dream. Oh, this is her.
Hi, Kathleen. So I had this last night after the dream show, and I fell asleep while I was re-listening to the show. Last thing I remember was you mentioning Dave, which is Creepy Dave.
Yeah.
So this is her dream. I was visiting Marie at her house in Australia. She was showing me her backyard, and I was amazed at how much it looked like my grandma's backyard in real life. I moved in after she died and lived there with my husband and 2 kids for 5 years in my early 20s. The buildings around her garden were from the 1920s to 40s. Big vegetable garden in the middle reminded me of my garden from Grandma's, my old house. Other people from the chat were there, and my grandson, who's 8. We were there for some kind of event or maybe awards show or a dinner held at an auditorium connected to her house. Inside was a very cool house with many rooms. Everything was interesting to see. Dave and I and others were standing in front of her wall-sized bookshelf looking at all the interesting titles and saw a stack of books she wrote, shiny light blue and gold cover. Couldn't wait to buy it. Life journey? Sat on the couch with 3 to 4 cats and dogs, pugs, was a magnet. One cat insisted I pat her. Marie was surprised as not usually friendly. Grandson exploring and Marie showed us the spare room to sleep in. She wanted to show me down the road, shops maybe, and don't know who drove. I forgot my purse, which surprised me as I never do. I woke up as getting out of the car. Now, curious about the book. Was it mine or are you writing a book? It felt like yours though. Although this is the second or third dream about my grandma's backyard in the past 2 months. And my grandson was in this one, who is 8. Last dream I shared, I was a boy and girl around 8 to 10 in the same backyard at a water fountain.
Mm. So isn't that an interesting dream? And like I said, Kathleen, I've had this as well. And I know I've been there. And because we've been talking about us all connecting in the ethers, I think that's just beautiful and perfect that you've done that, because it sounds like there was a few of us that were there with you. And I don't know, just straight up for me, it was where you used to live. It was your grandma's place. So it was a very safe place for you. So to me, it just felt safe being in that environment. It was nurturing. There was a garden bed, a vegetable bed. I actually do have a vegetable garden sort of in the middle of my backyard as well, which is really interesting. So what are your thoughts, Nick?
Well, grandmother definitely appears a lot or comes up a lot in this. And that's actually, if you're looking at this as about yourself as well, it's that creative side, the nurturing side, as you said. So it's like maybe that's something to focus on for yourself, or embracing it a little bit more. Let's go back to the beginning. So it's interesting. I've had a dream about Marie as well. It's no wonder.
Poor darlings.
Yeah, so even, look, I go through that now and I see words like backyard. What does that mean? I look at numbers. I'm looking at structures and buildings. I'm looking at what the garden represents. So before we get started on this, Kathleen, the only thing I saw you put in brackets was, was it life journey?
Oh, yeah, she was questioning, whether it was my life journey.
And that definitely is the case because of the books. And so if I dream of books or a bookshelf, it's basically our life. And it's all the possibilities and the things that happen or are about to happen or could be happening simultaneously. Or maybe it also could mean, watch out, there could be something coming up that could be some information that's coming to you. So be aware of that. It could appear in a lesson.
Yes.
It's a book of knowledge, the book of our life. Basically, I always, whenever I see a bookshelf, I go, wait a minute, I don't want to move on yet. I want to see what's in it.
Exactly. And you're spot on. Your book of life. Pay attention to your purpose in this lifetime and knowledge of life plan. Important lessons coming up. So, and that's our beautiful Beth Add's book, the dream book, for anyone that's wondering. Christina's on. Hello, gorgeous. And the fact, I love the colours, the gold and the blue. So what do you make of that? Because the book's covers were gold and blue.
Well, the blue is certainly the communication part of it, which is the message that's coming to you. And that's what books do. They present us with information and messages. The gold is, the gold to me is the ultimate thing right now. It's this beautiful feeling of that's the bigger picture almost, if I was referring to the book.
Yeah. And that's also, to me, always Christ consciousness. So it's that very, and gold and blue together are just gorgeous colours. So for me, if you're seeing this, Kathleen, this is you. This is, you might have thought it was my book, but maybe there's you can only see something in someone else when you have it yourself.
Mm.
So to me, this is also a very big aspect of you. So it's really important. But I am writing a book at the moment, actually, but I've been writing it for a
Oh.
while. It's a science sort of science fictiony, spiritual sort of fun journey. So yeah, but it's been ongoing. so
Wow.
so it sort of reflects really what you're saying in your dream as well. So
That is
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so no, I love that we're all there and together. And this is the thing. This is when you're in a safe space, when you're in a place like this where you can express yourself, and you're not going to be called cray cray because then everyone else has to own it as well. It's perfect. So, but I love what Dennis has said.
I was there and I did bring ice cream.
Okay. Yeah, of course you did, Dennis. Or you wouldn't be allowed to come. You know that.
I can't eat ice cream now without thinking of you, Dennis.
Oh no, no. And I think it all started from our friend that's apparently in the White House at the moment. So this is great. And the fact that the young ones in there as well, Kathleen, the grandson, and you've always got the young in there. And I feel that's the playfulness within you. That's the inner child. That's the explorer, because he went off exploring the house. That's you. I don't know. What do you feel about that? Actually, Kathleen, let us know what you feel about that. Do you feel like you have that aspect of you that wants to explore things and lets that inner child go out and play and have fun, which is what we have been putting out for more of as well. So yeah, so let us know, Kathleen. I'd love to know if is Kathleen's on. Is she? No. Oh yeah, she
Yes,
is.
she's
Yeah.
on.
Yes,
She's
Kathleen's on.
on.
So yeah, so Kathleen, yes. Do you want to read that for us?
So, wow, that's so cool and interesting. I love your perspectives. Well, you actually gave us the starting point of that one. Yes, the book was the most interesting to me. It was beautiful. That's so funny because I want to write a book just like that too. Science fiction.
Interesting, isn't it? So there's obviously a connection there, and I feel the more that we actually open up to our downloads. I mean, I've read some books and I've gone, these are channeled, man. It's like what they're bringing through. They might have written it as a science fiction or as a fantasy, but you know that there's truth in there.
It
So,
should be
yeah.
science nonfiction.
Science nonfiction, SNF.
SNF.
I like it. That's so cute.
New category.
Yeah, or mystical nonfiction.
Yeah.
So, hi Kibu, she's on as well. So look, there's so much else in this dream. The cats. Okay, let's look at the animals that came to you. Let me have a look. Yeah, there we go. So those cats and dogs. I mean, to me, the cats are the feminine and the dogs are the masculine. So you've got that balance. You've got cats and dogs, and you are like a magnet. So what does that mean? Does that mean that you're actually balancing yourself up beautifully, and that feminine wanting you to pat her? And to me, that's really that beautiful nurturing and intuition on that feminine aspect. So, and I have got a spare room as well. That it's hot property. People always say, "Can I come and stay with you?" I've been down the coast. Can I stay? So it's really interesting. So it's funny that you talked about the spare room. So, what are your thoughts there with the cats and dogs, Nick?
Oh, definitely the masculine, feminine. Whenever you see an animal, that's the first thing I try to tap into, how it feels to me, and if there's a message about what I might trying to get some balance back in one, or if they both appear, which means I'm actually achieving that balance. So, and the fact that you're a magnet to it as well, which basically means that it's getting easier, perhaps, for you to maintain a balance, whether you're conscious of it or not. It's just happening.
Yeah. Exactly. And, and to me as well, being in the car, didn't know who was driving, but it's just a part of your life. Car represents our life and where we're going. And if you're going, you said it was either shops or in front of like some, I don't know, some sheds or something. So, but you forgot your purse. So your purse to me is your identity. So it's the first time you'd forgotten your purse. So, and that to me in a way can mean, are you letting go of an aspect of yourself to find something new? Yeah, so I'm not sure. Let me have a look that one up. Nick, any ideas on that one?
Yeah, I was wondering about that one as well, because sometimes purse can mean the abundance that you have, but you
No.
forgot it.
No,
So I was wondering, how did she feel about it when she forgot her purse? Because sometimes, you panic, and other times think, it's okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's so true. And it's really interesting because something's really resonating here. I'm looking it up. The purse is your identity. If you lose your purse, you're not sure who you are. But that didn't resonate with me. The last line resonated for you, Kathleen, was, or you're transitioning into a new self-concept. And that's what I was feeling. It's like you didn't need that old identity. You're actually finding
Yes.
something new. You're going shopping. You're actually going to look for something new. And it's fun. So so yeah, that was the feeling I got from it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see, Kathleen, if that resonates with you at the moment. And yeah, so okay, interesting, because Kathleen has a very spiritual connection as well. That's exactly what mine is about. This is crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. So yeah,
And Dennis said that the gold and the blue, that's why the animals resonated.
they can feel that aspect of you too. So
Mm.
when, the other night I was sitting there with Clive, and he loves having he's got such a regime, this boy. He has to have his cuddles at certain times and sits on my lap, and at night time he loves to be outside with everything. And he was just staring up above my head, and I was looking around, there was no little moths, there was nothing, and his eyes were huge, and I was going, oh, what are you tuning into? Because they can see beyond the spectrum that we can see, obviously. And they weren't, his eyes hadn't gone into slits, they were massive. And it was really interesting. So I was tuning in and feeling, and I went, oh, I feel like there is maybe a beautiful energy that's sort of behind me. And yeah, but he just wouldn't take his eyes off it for probably about 10 minutes. He just wouldn't shift position. So animals have that real connection and perception into the energy. And whenever we're doing greetings, like, he just comes straight on in, he plays with the crystals a bit, and then he just goes into the middle. And he sometimes lays there for hours afterwards. It's so healing for them. So yeah, so Kathleen, I'm just going to pull a few cards on that dream, because that was amazing as well. The Hermit's come up. So yeah, this is definitely deeper into reflection for yourself. And the lamp always tells me that you're being guided, but it's a really good idea to maybe stop and take some time to go inside and to see what's coming through for you that's new. That is creating this new identity. We just got a big yes on that, and Ace of Pentacles. So this is your reality. This is like, yes, you're on track, and make sure you do have time for you. I just get a feeling you're a big giver. King of Swords, speak your truth, write your own story. Okay, you are the master creator of your story, how you think, how you create your life through your words, and how you're thinking as well. So look, to me, they're beautiful cards to get. So yeah, so there. So thank you for sending that in. Is there anything else, Nick, that you want to say about that at all?
I just can't believe you pulled those cards. The similarity of what I was just dreaming of this week, it's so tied into all of that. Maybe I think because we're shifting into each sort of time we do this, a week passes, and so much can happen in that week in the collective, that we're all sort of experiencing still our own journey, but we're also interconnected, that we're also going on a group journey at the same time. So I just feel now more and more and more that we're all experiencing very similar things. There's an underlying thing.
I love that. And it's so true, because we can talk about it and go, oh, wow. And as we have a different perspective from a different angle, it allows us to open more, So, yeah, it opens up more possibilities for us, so that we don't just stay thinking, how we've been taught. It's like, oh, wow, anything's possible. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Hi, Angel Laurie. Nice to see you on.
We've got a good turnout. Thanks, everybody.
And so do you want to talk about like some of your dreams and what came through?
Yeah.
And we can get to maybe also do some decoding for us. So maybe don't, because I know you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it started with seeing a dog that was my mother's dog in real life, a huge big black Newfoundland, and he was stuck between the back of a garage and a fence. So I went to rescue him out of that fence, and I managed to extract him out of there, but he was still hooked on by a claw onto a fence.
Was this in real life?
No, this was my dream.
This was your dream. Okay.
Yeah. And so I just unhooked the claw and released him, and he looked at me with those big, beautiful, deep black eyes, just full of love, just looking at me, so grateful. And then after that dream, immediately after, I had this dream with my grandmother, and we were baking together. And while we were baking, we were scrutinizing the baking powder to make sure it didn't have any aluminium in it. It was, like, yes, no, this one's good. And then that led me on to waking up to two songs. And the first song was Grandma's Feather Bed by John Denver.
I love that
which
song.
I know. And I was just, it's been on a loop for 2 days. It's been driving me crazy because the best darn thing about Grandma's house was the great big feather bed. And so when I got up, I had to look at the lyrics, even though I remembered most of them. But straight after that, I got another song by him, which was the song You Fill Up My Senses. And the words are like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again.
That's beautiful. That's Annie's song, isn't it?
That is Annie's song.
One of my favourites. My brother gave me that record or tape when I was about 12, and I just fell in love with John Denver. So I love it. So what do those words mean for you? Actually, can we ask
anyone? Yeah. What? Because there's quite a lot in there, and we've already discussed some of the connections to some of those concepts.
Absolutely. So, the nature aspect of that, but what is it that's filling us up? So if people want to actually say, when you hear those lyrics or you go into that space where you're thinking about those places or you go to those places, what do we feel? What do we experience from that? I think that's probably a really good thing to remind us. So, because it can get quite emotional, when you hear things like that. There's such beautiful words. So if anyone wants to have a little, put it in
while
what
they're doing that, give them a chance to do that. When I had to go back and play the songs and revisit, and I had an old tape that I used to just play non-stop, and there was this thing I used to hear. I don't know whether it was the tape stretching, but I used to play it probably the most out of all the little tapes that I had. And just going back and listening to the song, like you said, Marie, it actually filled me up. There was something about the resonant frequency of those songs, and I just thought I need to sing this, and I just felt so good after it. Like, it really was very uplifting.
Beautiful. They are, and it's so weird. I mean, now that you said all that, I used to have it in the car, and I think I'll put it back in the car. I've been a bit, so because I don't listen to the radio very often, so I might do that. But it's really nurturing, isn't it? So but this is interesting.
So John Denver is my best friend's favourite musician.
So Angel Laurie, and
I've heard one of his today, also Lady. Sorry, but I just had to say.
That's great. I mean, and look at the synchronicity. It's really interesting. So, and I've always wondered, did he really go down in a plane crash?
Yes. Well, I don't wonder. I just feel he's still with us. He's
still with us. I believe he saved himself. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. He's a beautiful soul. Absolute beautiful soul.
His energy was amazing. But Kathleen's given us a comment on the dream.
Kathleen said, "Thank you so much. That was a very cool interpretation. I knew there was something more to that dream, but could only see the surface things. Love the deeper perspectives."
Yeah, beautiful. That's it. And this is it. We've got to trust what we get as well for ourselves, because often a nuance or a symbol can mean something slightly different to someone else. So, like my sister, her one for emotions is a water tank, because we grew up on a farm and we had a big water tank. So, and for her, though, it's often a stepping stone emotionally to something bigger, like a waterfall. So, we all have our own way of our subconscious, or our soul has its own way of talking with us, communicating.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, so Angel Laurie said, "Ask the cards. What do you want me to ask the cards about, Angel Laurie?" If he's still here. I just got it. So maybe I will. So, but he had some beautiful songs about nature indeed. And I listened to some of his other albums, because I only had particularly that one album, that my brother gave me. It had a lot of songs on it, but then he did all these other incredible songs. Like, I think Alaska is one of them. Another one's a beautiful flower that grows up through like through the rocks. Oh, just incredible. So, so just check that one out. Yes, I will. But first of all, just I want you to all, before I do this, I want everyone to go into their heart space and to ask the question, what do you feel and what do you think? Because at the end of the day, it's what we actually our intuition is telling us as well. So but let's just see if that is true. Because I mean, goodness me, how old would he be now? So I'm going to ask it that way. Did he live longer than what was said with what happened to him? So did he actually have more time here? Yeah, there was definitely something hidden, because that King of Cups has come up. So this is the Master of Emotions, but there's something hidden under the cloak. So, because I mean, it's not something you'd do lightly. Let's face it. Yeah, Justice. I believe so, because the Justice card has come up. So this was a way of him not having to go into that realm that, the place that a lot of famous people sort of went into. So interesting. Yeah, 8 of Cups, walking away from something emotionally. So yeah. So that to me says yes, there was something else going on there. Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting from Triangle. Yeah. So and then an Angel Laurie. Yeah. Well, that's right. I wonder if a similar thing happened to Cat Stevens, because you know how he went off into that. Yeah. You just don't know. It's so weird, isn't it, when they're sort of really at a big pinnacle.
Yeah, that's true. And it's interesting that his name is coming up for me, or the music's coming up for me a lot. I mean, I'd be in the middle of the garden, and the next minute the song, Leaving on a Jet Plane will just come into my head over and over again. And I just think, what is it about John Denver?
Something's going on, because we just got for him. Yes, and for, what we're getting. So it's fascinating, isn't it, with songs? And maybe that's something we can all start doing, because I know when I put that intention out there, I go, oh, come on, give me some messages through songs, because I love that. And sure enough, they'll come on through and you'll go, whoa, now I get it. So yeah. Which is really, really cool. But
I'm hoping what Angel Laurie said, that he'd leave the music industry behind. I'm hoping that he didn't leave his music behind, because I think
exactly.
I can imagine him still writing music and playing music.
Yeah.
And Angel Laurie said, I think Tupac Shakur did the same thing. You have to fake your death to get away from the industry baddies.
Yeah. I don't know who that is, actually.
Oh,
isn't that interesting? So Tribal is...
I've been playing his music a lot more on the radio lately.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So there's something going on with that frequency or that energy.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
He did a movie, which I think it was Annie's song, or Annie was the movie. I remember that as a child, and my sister and I used to love it, and we cried. It was so beautiful. It was so emotional. And I'll have to actually look it up now. I haven't seen it since.
You've got me intrigued. Was that the one that had Sunshine on My Shoulders, or was that a different one?
Maybe that's what it was.
I still remember it from when I was a child as well.
Yeah. So the wife was passed with cancer, or she had cancer or something.
Right.
And she was dying, and it was a story about her and how much he loved her, and now up in the mountains. It was like a documentary, maybe.
No, it was a movie, because I remember it, and and I'm just actually seeing it now coming back through, which is really unusual for me to sort of remember it. But I remember the emotion with it as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, that stuck with me as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Isn't it? So guys, let's put it out there to get some messages. And sometimes I get woken up, like you do, Nick, in my dream with the song that's playing. It's like, and it's almost like someone's, you're not going to believe it, it's come up again. It's like when a song is playing, and it's like someone's got the radio on, because I can actually hear it, but it's not. It's 2:00 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Oh, that's what the song Lady is from. Ah, okay.
Wow. Look at that.
Dennis, do you remember the movie?
Yeah, that's crazy. So, but yeah, there's definitely something going on, isn't there?
There is. Thanks, John.
Good job. You're very loved. So And we had a good question here as well about your dream.
Yeah.
Kathleen's asked, and I wanted to do a little bit more delving into your
Yeah,
dream.
sure. I'm curious about Nick's dream with the big black dog and the claw and what it was stuck in. Mm, yeah.
So, what aspect of you do you feel that was representing? What was going on with that?
Mm. Well, I mean, the first thing was the black was the unknown,
Okay.
and or it's the consciousness, the unconsciousness. Um, it was basically about what am I releasing, and also because the fence wasn't a really solid fence, it was a little bit see-through, old, and I thought the fence isn't that much of a boundary. It was very easy to actually pull him out. He was just wedged a bit, whining, oh, help me. So I felt that what that meant to me was that I'm finding it really easy to let go of everything and not get bogged down in anything, not be entrapped into anything. And as I was pulling the dog away, the claw was still hooked a little bit onto a fence nail or something like that, and I just lifted it off. And it was like, well, that's it. That was really easy. So, for the summary I did, as I enter the unknown, I'm breaking free from illusions and obstacles. So, but doing it really effortlessly now.
And I think that's it. The more we practice, the more we trust ourselves, the more we actually surrender into the process of life and let things come to us rather than struggling. It's like we can more easily unhook and change and be more present, isn't it, with the changes going on, and especially trusting the aspects within us. So that's a very clear. Like, I loved how you did that. So the black, the dog, the love from it, the unhooking, perfect. So yeah, that's
And the
amazing.
love from the dog was about my self-love. It's becoming easier and easier at, I guess, just daring to be me. And so that was funny, because after I moved in the connection with the dog, the next part of that, which was the baking with my grandmother, and I thought, oh, this is a bit random, but I realized it's all part of one and the same thing. And so the grandmother, the ingredients, it's alchemy, and I always see myself as a bit of an alchemist, and so it's like being the creative part of me. And when you're cooking, it's your essence going in and putting in. No one makes it just the same way as you. So it's me creating my own life experiences now. And the baking powder, or the baking part of it, was being really scrutinizing what I don't want in my life anymore. And that's that releasing of letting go of the little bits, the fence, just the claw. That little bit's still stuck in there. No, let it go. That can go now. And then just creating what I want in the future. And then, with moving into the feather bed, and then because I thought, oh, this is so fun, because as a child, my parents had a huge, big brass bed, and my sister and I, whenever they weren't in the house or out the backyard or we were alone, we would play in that bed the same way, and we just had so much fun. So it brought up, I'm sure I was smiling while I was thinking about this dream. And then that's, once again, the inner child is about so many things, but it's really about getting back to not taking things so seriously that we've been doing for our whole lives, and getting back to just enjoying moments, small things that can actually really fill us up. And so one of the things I wrote here is about, because of the bed is about when you're going from sleep into awake states, shifting of the conscious to the unconscious. And that's what we're doing at the moment. We're learning to shift from one side to the other, and we're starting to realize where we want to be. It's also the feather is that lightness, and it's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling incredibly light, and that's helping me get back to my my own life force. But for some reason, I kept thinking of the animal of a geese, because that was in the song somewhere, and I thought the geese are a team. They work together, they navigate around together, and I thought, I feel like I'm not doing this alone. And as much as we're doing this as a group, as a collective, we're also being supported. And that's where that love can come in even stronger. And that's the grandmother love of the grandma's feather bed. So there was just so much with Kathleen's dream at the beginning that I was just thinking, yes, ding, ding, ding.
You, Kathleen, just have that connection, don't you? It's crazy.
All those senses are beautiful. Like, I looked at the forest. It's all about protection and growth and strength, entering into the unconscious. Mountains, seeing things from a high perspective, being able to really see clearly. Then there was the rain. It's the cleansing, all the emotional growth that were happening, the storm, the inner changes that are taking place, purification. Ocean is all about the life force again of the emotions. It was just such a beautiful dream. And when I sat with it, it was so clear to me. I thought, this is about having fun and enjoying it, because this is what life should be like.
I love it. It's so true and so connected. Yeah, no, that was beautifully said. And I love how you've had those consecutive dreams and yet they all link up. So which is beautiful. But yeah, so and then because we asked Dennis as well what it meant, but Kathleen said
he wrote Annie's song, "You Fill Up My Senses," about his wife Annie. That's right. Now it's all coming together. Yes. Michelle said, and then, it's Michelle to me. Yes, I lived it.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, because Dennis went through that journey with his loved one, Michelle. So I was thinking about Dennis yesterday and just sending you love and seeing how you're going. So and I can imagine, the music would just trigger that heart love when you have someone so special in your life that you've watched transition and helped them. So huge. So so lots of love to you, Dennis. So so songs are so powerful, aren't they, and what they can trigger for us and the memories and so and people say, people say, how they've changed the frequency from 432 hertz to 440, so it doesn't. Is it 440? Yeah, so it's actually not on the right vibration for us. And people go, I won't be able to listen to that music. And it's like, no, but look what we do with it. And look at the memories that we have from so much music. So our love and our joy of it all just completely overrides that aspect of it to me. It's like you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
And I think also if you sing it yourself, you go back to the 432 anyway, because it's coming from your own frequency.
I love
even
that.
if it's out of tune, it doesn't matter. It's in tune with your body.
Yeah, exactly. So and I it's funny because I got onto this. There's a CD or an album I downloaded and stuff called Whole Tones, and they go through every single frequency of music and what it's for. And he was saying he helped his mum heal when he had his guitar, and he would put the guitar on her while she was sort of in hospital and do the frequency, like pick the one that was for healing, and the vibration of the guitar. She healed. She got healed from her illness that they didn't expect. So we can just knowing that vibration and frequency is already here with us. I know there's going to be more technology coming through in the future that's going to help us all on that level, but it's already with us as well. Like even gongs, even when you go to sound baths, like my friend does these amazing sound baths, and you just feel so different when you come out of it. So so hey, Marie's on as well. Hi, Marie. Nice to see you here. But so that was pretty amazing, wasn't it? That the all of that came up from the dream with the songs that you were getting, and then so much has come through for us just from talking about it. And this is why I think it's so great that we actually can do this and talk about things that come up for us. And otherwise, we might just go, okay, and not really think about it. But to go in and get the deeper meaning and to get the message for ourselves is so important, because that's how the etheric, that's how spirit actually communicates with us in this tangible world. So it's beautiful. So,
and releasing that, I think part of the releasing part is, I guess, releasing the fear to dare to be who we are meant to be is what the message I'm getting with all of this. And so when you're in a state of fun and you're having a laugh, or you're out playing and doing something, you don't have that barrier up anymore. It just drops away. That's why having, laughing and having fun with people, your true self comes out. I love it. When you see someone who hasn't smiled for a long time and you get a giggle out of them, or they laugh, and that really warms me, because I see, there they are. they're in there,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's interesting, because I think we don't realize how much we do smile or don't smile. And I've been working in a place where there's a lot of people that come through. And so my goal has been to see how many people, because I'll just smile all the time, how many people will smile back at me. But I do it with intention. So I actually express it like it's not, and so many people just instantly will smile. It's so beautiful. So maybe that would be another thing that we add to our intentions for this week coming is let's put out an intention for fun and joy and to get some help, maybe if we need some clearing around that through our dreams or through music or whatever it is that the universe wants to send us. And how often are we smiling and how often is it reciprocated? Because when you smile, you're actually raising or expanding your frequency and your vibration. So I think they're two wonderful things that we can actually focus on for the week. What do you reckon, guys? Do you think that's a good idea? So, okay, so interesting. So Angel Laurie's popped something up, so I'll have a look there.
Angel Laurie is so interesting because even my hypnosis sessions, a lot of my past lives were in galactic civilizations that use sound frequency as food and healing.
Yeah, well, the prana, the energy,
Yeah.
and we can do that as well, Angel Laurie. I love that. So, with my animal magic cards, whenever I pull the gnome or the dryad, which is the tree spirit, I actually go, oh, that's right. I'm being reminded to connect into the earth, into the energy at the ether, and I ask Mother Earth for any prana that I need, any minerals, anything that's going to help to sustain me energetically, to then go through into my physical body, into my emotional body, all of them, and I can feel it. It's almost like I just get this big hit of energy. So that's something else that we can do as well. If you're feeling a bit tired or a bit flat, just connect into the earth. And I just go through my great I am. Mother Gaia come through prana, through the etheric to actually fulfill my nutritional needs on that level. And it's amazing. So, yeah. So anyway, so that's what I do when especially if I pull those cards, I go, oh, you haven't been doing that. So.
And Marie, yesterday I spent hours in the garden, and I wasn't even hungry at all. And I always think whenever I garden, I thought about this consciously. It's interesting you're saying that, is that I don't lose my appetite. I just feel fulfilled being in the garden. It's not like I've forgotten to eat, or I just don't need to.
It's interesting you say that, because I have read somewhere that chefs don't tend to want to eat the food they've cooked or prepared, and I wonder often if it's because they're getting the energy etherically from what they're doing, and their intention is so powerful on what they're doing. So I agree. I think you're probably just taking it in as you're there. So I agree. But it's interesting. So Kathleen's.
She said, that's so true. There are some songs that I can't listen to anymore because they are so dark, feeling lower vibe. All-time fave is Aquarius, The Fifth Dimension Makes Me Happy. Yes, I agree with that. That song is amazing. I still love it.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, when did that come out? Was it the 70s? And it's been around, hasn't it, forever? So yeah, it is.
It's a song in my house growing up.
Yeah, it was amazing. So yeah, so true, Kathleen. But and Christina.
Yes, that's a great idea, Marie, about the smiling.
Yeah. So, and Christina, how are you going with William?
Yeah.
I still haven't got to Brisbane. Can you believe it? I haven't even made up to the city. It must be 2 years. I'm going, oh, there's something wrong with me, but no, I'm happy here. But yeah. So now, Maple Tree, you've asked a question. I'm not quite sure.
Hi, Marie. I have a question. Do you know who are the lords of karma?
Maple Tree, I want you first of all, because I'm not sure. I haven't tapped into that. Do you want to put in what you think they are? That'd be really, really interesting, actually, to see what your thoughts are, Maple Tree. So, yeah. So if you pop in there what you think, and then we can actually, if anyone's got any ideas what their understanding or perception is of Lords of Karma, that would be really cool. Because I'm sure a lot of us read different things or tune into different aspects, and so we have some knowledge there that a lot of us might not know about. So yeah, so throw it in there. So So yes, anyone knows about Lord's Karma, pop it in the comments for us. So, and if you can't comment, because I had a friend that said, "Oh, I couldn't put a comment in." You do have to have a YouTube, what do you call it? Account. You don't have to pay for it or anything. All you need is an email, and then you can actually go in and comment. You subscribe, and then you just comment. So if you're
If
having,
you can't like something, it means you're not signed in as a
yeah,
YouTuber. You don't have to have your own channel. It's just that you need to sort of sign up in order to comment or subscribe.
yeah.
I
And
think
once you're
that's
in, you never have to log back in once you've actually got it open. Whether it's on your phone or computer or whatever. So, but yeah. So Maple Tree has also commented on the music.
I can't listen to music because they get stuck in my head.
Do you get a loop back in Maple Tree? I know it's interesting, isn't it? So, oh, good. Kathleen's come up with something for us.
I think the Lords of Karma are the ones on the other side that have put us into the reincarnation cycle, but I've heard they are gone now.
Thank you for that, because I wasn't sure what it actually meant. So this is what I love, when we get different perspectives and people sort of.
And the question is, who's responsible for karma?
Yeah, true, good point. Yeah, that's true. And for me, to me that says I am at the end of the day.
Of our
yes.
own karma, but not for somebody else.
No.
That's not for us. No. The Vedic gods or our personal ones?
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. That's the split. Yeah.
Yeah. So because what I've started to realise, and it took me a while, is that we can't ask for anyone else's forgiveness. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to take ownership of everything, then forgive ourselves, because that's karma. We create our own karma through our own self-judgment. And I recognised this years ago. The first time I realised, I was so angry at God and my soul for creating some of the experiences and things that have happened to me in my life. And then I went, hang on a minute, my soul, I created this. So the first thing I did was forgive my soul from the level I was at within my 3D understanding. So that was my first step to actually then beginning to understand about the forgiveness of whatever it is I've created within me that's reflecting back to me. I take full responsibility for, and sometimes that's hard because my ego goes, I know it's not me. I have to have a really good chat to my ego, and then sometimes I don't even know it's there. It's just hidden, and it's just this repetitive thought that will come up. And then I'll go, oh, hang on, that's an ego aspect within my emotional body or whatever. And I just ask God for help with that. And then often within 24 hours, there's this peace that comes through, and those thoughts stop and everything stops. And it's amazing how powerful our own self-forgiveness is. And that's what I feel karma, for me, that's what karma is. So Maple Tree said she thinks it's source.
I agree, Maple Tree. I'm with you there. I think source is the one that determines the karma for all, because that's the starting point.
And we are that too, aren't we? We have that spark within us too. Yeah. So.
And learning to forgive yourself is the stepping stone to being able to forgive others. And it just, to be able to go a whole day without judgment was a really big thing for me. It's just no judgment, no judgment, no judgment. That was the thing I had to keep looping in my head because it's so easy we slip into it. But the more you move away from it, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. And a really good friend of mine, I loved it. One year she said, my word for this year is impeccable. So whether it's an impeccable thought, impeccable speech, be mindful. I went, whoa, that's a powerful word. And I went, don't think I can do that yet. So actually, just like you're saying, no judgment, impeccable. It's sort of what they almost come together in the way that we are being mindful of what we're thinking even, and then how we're speaking. So, so Maple Tree's also said.
Maybe the angels who judge.
Yeah. I wonder who that is. I wonder if we're an aspect of that as well. And so depending on how much self-forgiveness we've had as to then how much we actually judge ourselves at any level. I don't know. It's really interesting. So,
and remember, sorry.
Go.
I remember that it's, the whole thing is we had to know what it's like to judge. So we know what it's like not to judge.
Love it. So true. and to be judged, even if we're innocent and someone else has had a judgment on us,
Yeah,
at some level we're judging ourselves because
that's
otherwise
right.
it wouldn't happen. So, yeah, it's so funny, isn't it? And it usually comes out of the blue, and that's when it shocks you so that you actually reflect and look at it.
Yeah.
So, um, okay, so oh, Christina, yes, she hasn't been down the Gold Coast either. I so want to meet you and your William. Um, so a maple tree. Hang on.
Maple Tree said, "Hi Marie, another question. How does someone know if his or her auras are thick?"
Okay, so again, guys, these are the sorts of questions that I would love to get feedback from you all. So, how do you know a thick, I'm going to say a heavy energy, like blocks or whatever within the aura? So, if you guys have a way of knowing how yours is, or if you perceive and see someone else's, what do you see? How does it feel? I think this is a really good question because it makes us self-reflect and it makes us look at our perspective. So for me, um, oh gosh, I know with me and my aura, my energy field, it's like I'm so tuned into it. I can feel when there's a nuance or when there's a schism or when something's going on. Because for years, when I was so open psychically, and I didn't understand about my chakra system, I didn't understand about my energy world, and I would get impacted. And so I know when I'm impacted and when I'm not, and when I'm light and when I'm heavy. But I would love to know how everyone else actually does that, or how do you sense that in someone else? So, but yeah. So Kathleen Goes put up a really good comment here as well.
There is a universal law that we hurt others and there are consequences, but karma was meant to keep us chained to the cycle. You're right. We have to have self-forgiveness.
Yeah, so true.
I'm ready
And
for Dharma.
yeah, Dharma. That's one of my favorite things is Dharma. Pay it forward, Dharma. It just brings so much joy when there's no expectation.
Yeah.
But you're giving, and yet we also to create Dharma though. The problem is a lot of us are givers, and to create Dharma, to help with Dharma, we have to be open to receiving, and that can be sometimes a block for people that are empaths and sensitive and givers. So being open to receiving with an open heart helps Dharma to also keep and paying it forward to be created. So yeah, so Marie's actually said,
If I catch myself judging someone, I remind myself they are me and I am them exactly.
beautiful, that oneness consciousness. Yeah, I mean, we're still human and we still have to feel emotions because emotions are what? A movement of energy. So we have to allow that because that will help to release maybe blocks that are within our body, within our psyche, whatever. So absolutely, but it's that mindfulness again, isn't it? It's that no judgment, that impeccability, and that but allowing yourself to feel things as well. And I think that's really important. Yeah. So where are we? So Dennis was saying that he was going to say the same thing as Marie. So yeah. And there was other thing. Okay, so has anyone had to think about what it is, how it is they sense things? Because everyone has different beautiful gifts and abilities and sensitivities. So some people see things, some people feel things, some people know things. I've got a friend and she just senses. It's just like she's incredible. And she goes, I don't see things, but I just sense this. And it's a real knowing. So yeah. So what about you, Nick? How do you think or feel or see?
You know that saying, I'm trying to remember what it is, when you walk into the room and the air was thick with something?
Thick with anticipation or thick with
Yeah.
something.
I
Yeah.
think because you can feel the energy coming off people when you walk into a room and we start to sort of step into each other's and it becomes one big, soupy mix. And then you pull someone aside and you have a conversation with them and you don't even know that there's someone else in the room. Like you can sit down at a party or a get together and be chatting to someone, not, just with that one person all night and not have had a chance to speak to anybody else because you're tuning in with that. So yes, the aura is an interesting one. It really is, because there's so many levels and layers of it, and the frequencies that can come in different ways, and it's always forming and changing depending on, as you said, our energy in motion. So the thickness, I think, I'm not sure if the thickness is more to do with the lack of flow, that the energy is moving slowly because that's why it's gathering. And is that good or bad? I don't really know. It depends on the person and the situation. But I feel sometimes I sense it in many ways and in all sorts of different ways. But lately, I've been seeing it's more like I don't want to call it plasma, but it's more of like an energy of water, like this gel, just off the corner of my eye, or I'll look at it and I'll just stare and I'll see it through, in front of the clouds. And I think, is that the aura of something, or is that something else? I really
question, yeah. And or is it simply in another dimension, or in another, is something been unveiled?
Yeah.
So because like plasma, that's all I've been seeing for months and months and months in the sky at night time when the stars disappeared. I was going, I can feel it's plasma, and I could sort of see it a little bit, but I could feel it and I knew it was plasma. It's fascinating, isn't it? And then all this stuff started coming up on plasma, of course, because I had that intention. So yeah, so so it's beautiful because Dennis has actually put something up as we're talking about with that paying it forward.
As a giver, I had a hard time accepting things back, but I learned if I don't accept, I'm shortening the other person of being able to give. Beautifully put.
It's so beautifully put. And also, yeah, that was because this is following what he said previously.
Trying to explain to people, I give of my heart and I don't wish anything for whatever I've given. Why is this so hard for others to understand? Because you know the answer to that.
You just said it in your other comment, which is amazing, which was all about, as a giver, until we can receive, then other people are going to maybe resist what we're trying to give as well. So it's that two-way street. It's that mirror. So, yeah. I love that. So, and we're talking about the energies, which is beautiful. So Angel Laurie's.
I feel the energies of people, places and things. Also, my telepathy is pretty strong here in the 3D, especially with particular people. 3 co-workers, we're always reading each other's minds.
Don't you love that? You can turn it into a game. And I'll do that. Like a friend will ring me, or I'll be talking to them and they'll go, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'll go, oh, I was getting all this yesterday for you, everything that you're just talking about. And yeah, so it's not even a new story. So you're right. So telepathy, is amazing. So that's fun. That's really good. So.
And Maria said, definitely feeling energy. And if around people it's heavy, I pass it out or put back up in a bubble and then just breathe. Yeah. Well, you're transmuting it. It's great.
That's exactly right. So, yeah.
For me, I feel more than see energies. Our aura is physical, plasma, etheric, astral, and mental layers. So I can feel when people are down rather than see it on their face. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's true, isn't it? People might have a big smile on their face, but then you're going, hey, this is a fake. There's something going on for you. So, so true. So, yeah. And Angel Laurie, I know, right?
Angel Laurie, we're always like, dude, get out of my head.
It's true. And it's like, damn. And it does get hard because sometimes if we have a thought and we're trying to work through something and someone else picks up that thought, they might take that as gospel. Whereas actually what we're doing is actually working through something. And, so I've actually had that happen and I go, that wasn't the whole intention of anything. So, yeah, and we've got to be mindful not to judge people on the telepathy because they could be processing something before they come to a final conclusion. So that was a good lesson for me when this person got really upset and they said, this is what you're thinking. And I went, well, yeah, but that's because I was going to the next step, which was then to do some research. And then I wanted to do this about it. And I went, oh, my God. So depending where that other person's at, as to the reaction that you get as well with telepathy. This is why I don't think a lot of people for it.
I think it out of context.
This is what they're thinking. We need to go through the mental plane process with situations. So, yeah. So this is great, guys. Thanks for your feedback, and we've nearly finished. So, Maple Tree, I know you've got a question up there. So I'm not sure if we've. Yeah, do you want to read that
Hi,
out?
another question for Jasper. Today I saw a castle or a fortress outside this earth. Is it true?
It depends. We'd need more information on that maple tree. I'd need to know what do you mean by outside the earth? Was it in another dimension, another realm? Is it crystal? Is it for next week? If you can come back with some more information on that, that'd be great, because I've seen crystal whole cities and everything as well. So in a meditation, and where the pavement came up from our 3D world, and then it went into crystalline road, and I went, what's going on? So it was showing me the transition to something else. So just give us a little bit more. Okay, so next week, so next week, Maple Tree, come back with that and just give us a little bit more information. That'd be awesome. So is there anything else? I think we need to finish. It's like, oh my goodness, how did an hour go so fast, Dick?
It flowed so well too. Thanks, everyone. I just love, you just never know what you're going to get.
No. So next week you've got to turn up, and because we get to meet Creepy and he's coming all the way from the UK. So make sure you tune in next week. So share this out with people as well. If you've got friends that you think might be a little bit interested or whatever, just share it with them. And if you guys want to jump on with us, please do. It's so easy to do. So you can always email me at iam@magicmarie.com if you've had a dream and you can't get on live and you want it to come up. But Jazzy was a bit quiet today, but that's all right. I think we all did the talking, which was perfect, all of us. And Nick, thank you so much for coming in and being our permanent co-host now, because our Miss Sara is busy, with other things. So really grateful that you stepped up for us. So yay! But all right, guys, send me your dreams, and we'll see you next week with Dave on the show. Okay, love you lots.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Bye.